Things are really heating up for the fourth week of Dana White's Contender Series. Matchups have been fantastic, but some interesting ones here. We have a middleweight showcase here between Will Currie and Djorden Santos. Now, Will Currie is a guy that you might be familiar with from the Cage Warriors scene, and Djorden Santos, unless you are, from Brazil or something like that, you probably are not familiar with him. He is, a guy that has a 9-1 record, and he's beat, 9 guys, but he's beat some pretty low-level competition. So it's going to be interesting to see how he steps up against Will Currie, who is a, notable name from the regional scene. But Will Currie, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's 12-3 overall. He's faded in fights in the past. We've seen him start to slow down after a fast start and then, maybe not do so well in those matchups. So he's been one of those guys that's almost gotten there a few times and then just kind of slightly fell short. So let's see if we can do it this time. It's, Will Currie is definitely the guy with the more proven track record, but Djorden Santos has a nice shiny record of 9-1. But like I said, the level of competition has been a little bit suspect. When I look at the nuts and bolts for these guys, when I break this down a little bit more, Djorden Santos, he's the type of guy that's got decent striking. He's got good forward pressure. He's durable. He's going to work everything off of his jab. The rest of his punches are kind of not super good. They're not good. Let's put it that way. But his jab's pretty decent, and he can work off of that. He's got a decent leg kick as well. His grappling seems to be his best attribute. He hasn't really shown like a high level of grappling against these guys, but he's shown a really good takedown defense, and he's shown that he takes the back from that. But from there, he just kind of is content to grind guys out. Land enough ground and pound to kind of keep the position and not just let the opponent get up, and also, not let the ref stand him up. But he isn't showing that he's trying to get the kill, get the finish, you know what I mean? He's not looking for that, but he does have really good takedown defense from what I've seen, and he's really good at taking the back. Now, like I said, it's low-level competition, so we're basing this off of that. But for Djorden Santos, I'm not quite sure how he's going to do stepping up against Will Currie, because Will Currie, although he does have flaws, he has quite a few of them actually, he does have some really good skill sets, right? In the striking, it's decent. His kicks are his best weapon, and he has a decent jab to go along with it. But the problem is, he'll do this thing where, yes, I like the high guard that he does, but he waits for his opponents to finish their combinations before striking back. So he'll get into this guard and just let his opponents finish what they're doing before he'll start doing something, which is a problem. It hasn't really bit him too much so far, but it's going to be a problem when you get to the higher levels and the guys are realizing, oh, I don't have to stop hitting this guy because he's not going to swing back at me. And they just tee off on him, and he just shells up until he eventually falls down. You see this problem with people a lot on the regional scene because they're waiting for their turn. And if someone doesn't give them their turn, they're just not going to swing back. They're just going to get hit until they fall down. Hopefully Currie will eventually, get rid of that habit. I don't like it for him. It's something I've seen in a lot of his fights. And he also can get backed up, and a lot of the time these things go in tandem. What happens is he gets backed up to the cage, and then he'll shell up, and he'll be blocking. But what happens is his opponents, eventually they finish their combo, and then they give him a second to start throwing back. If they just continue to swing, they're going to keep getting through. So either way, I don't like this. What I do really like for Will Currie, it's the grappling. Very good grappling. He has good transitions on the mat, slick back takes, and he's got pretty good ground and pound. He also has a decent submission arsenal, but he's very much ground and pound before submission. That is what he goes to first. And his ground and pound is good. And I think if he gets on top, the ground and pound is probably going to get it done for him here. But the thing is, we've seen him lose position before, especially in the it was a Stanton fight where he would take the back, but he just could not keep the back. That might have been a levels thing. I think the level is different here, and I think he's going to be a higher level fighter than Santos, and I do think Will Currie's going to get the win here. But if Will Currie screws this fight up by taking the back and losing it multiple times, and Santos lays on him for a decision, I could see that being a rough one for Currie, and I think that might be his shot and gone. And I don't think Santos is getting the contract doing that either, because he is a bit of a grinder. I don't think he's finishing Currie. Currie's tough as well. So I feel like if Currie wins, Currie has a shot to get a contract. If Santos wins, I don't really think so. And then nobody gets a contract here. But my pick, Will Currie, I think he's going to be able to implement the grappling. I think he's going to do well enough in the striking to be able to get the grappling going. And I think he's going to show that he is a pretty good grappler. And I think that's what we're going to get. He's going to show the level of competition difference and the experience difference. But let me know what you guys think. Drop it down in the comments. You guys have done great about that so far this season. hit the like button while you're down there. It does help the channel a lot. And if you haven't done it already, check out the rest of the videos in Dana White Contender Series week number 4 playlist that should be popping up on the screen. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.